there. Would you guys like to set sail on this ocean of flavor with me? I'll be your captain. I'm Steve Harrington.
And I'm Collin.
And I'm Doug, and this is Scoops Ahoy, a Stranger Things podcast, where we go week by week, chapter by chapter, taking a look at every episode of Stranger Things. We're pulling ourselves out of the deep, dark void very quickly as we wait for season 5, and this time we're talking about getting what we want.
Yes, and we wanted to not have Whitney around, so we're going to go on that. Yes, we got tired of her shenanigans, so she is no longer. No, I tease. Whitney had every intention of being here, but had some plans, either fall through or come to fruition, depending how you look at it. So
expanding plans.
She is. She's not able to join us, but she will be back next go round toward the end of August. And we'll have more on that, obviously, at the end of this show about what we're going to be talking about then. So yeah, have no fear. Whitney will be back. She just couldn't make it this time. So you're stuck with the dudes.
Just the boys.
For this week. So yes, in our last regular episode before we had the special one talking about the teaser, we had predicted what might be happening in season 5. So this time we're just going to get a little selfish and talk about what we want to have happen, what we hope happens in season 5, because we're obviously Stranger Things fans first and foremost. And who among us hasn't dreamed of sitting in the writer's room and saying, we got to totally kill off Will at the end of the show, right? So
gimme.
All right, so let's do that. But first, before we get into that, I wanted to mention talk about a couple quick things. One is this past week, our esteemed podcast reached 250,000 total downloads.
Yay!
Since our birthday, was it 4 years ago? Yeah, about 4 years ago. So that's just insane to me that we have had 250,000 listens to the podcast. So obviously, thank you all for all the support and all the kind words and all the great reviews and all the 5-star ratings and everything else on Spotify and Apple and everywhere else, YouTube. So we obviously very much appreciate it. So thank you. I'll speak on behalf of Whitney, but it's been a wild and crazy ride. I can't wait for November to get here and we start doing regular weekly episodes on every single episode. So
how crazy.
We're going to have a lot of fun. So I did want to mention that. The other thing I wanted to mention was...
Hey, wait, question.
Yes.
I'm curious. Did you look, if you looked at the numbers, what is the most listened to episode?
It's the first one.
The first episode ever.
By far.
Cool.
Because a lot of people, I think, they're going to start there. They may come back and redo it. They may listen for a little bit and not like it, but everybody's obviously starting with the first one. Beyond that, we've been getting more and more.
We're ramping up, huh?
Lately, coming back, we obviously kind of dipped when the show kind of dipped, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Don't worry, just a quick question.
I have, I have the numbers right here. So the revisiting fall of 1987 episode from December did pretty well.
That was a fun one.
Top 5 most memorable moments from July of 24, a year ago.
My first show.
Yep, there you go. And then the Montauk, when we talked about the Montauk Show Bible in the pilot episode, had a lot of hits. And I think before that, they're all kind of in the same general neighborhood. Our top 5 on the best duos from July of 23 did well. So I think it's actually kind of like summer, episodes for some reason. Not that people don't listen to podcasts.
What was your personal favorite show, Collin?
I really like I really like the music, the 2 music shows we did. They were a pain in the ass to edit and put together. The first one especially, because when we did the first one, I didn't have trusty soundboard here, making my life so much easier. So I had to hand go back and edit in every single one of the songs. But I think the fall of '87 episode was really fun, and it's a good one too because I think it's really accessible. I mean, you don't really even need to know the show very well to get it. But I loved ranking the episodes with you. That was really fun.
I loved it too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Nancy and I are going back and we're doing a rewatch. Me for the umpteenth time, her for the second or third time, depending on the season. So she's also kind of following along on the podcast. But before we start every episode, she's like, okay, she wants to cheat a little bit. Who was your MVP? What was your favorite line? What was your, so I have to, then she's like, and how did you and Doug rank it? And of course, we're kind of we're about halfway through season 2 right now.
Yeah.
And most of the first half of season 2 were like in the 23, 26, 28.
Oh yeah. Lowly
31.
ranked, yeah.
And then obviously Lost Sister was 34. So yeah.
Right.
But it's kind of fun to go back and revisit because I'd forgotten a lot of,
sure.
what was my Collin moment from episode 3 of season 2,
Yeah.
As I'm watching it, I notice it, but going into it, I can't remember.
Of course.
But yeah, so it's kind of fun. I really did like ranking the episodes. That was really cool.
I did too. It was a lot of fun.
So, yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk. We were just mentioning Montauk. Ross posted on his Instagram recently, and this is something that has been in the back of my mind since I first heard about it, which I think was, it may have been before season 4 rolled around, like right around the time we were starting the podcast, because I went and got the book that we use. Whitney and I used a book to get a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and a lot of people remember us mentioning that. And there was talk at that time how it was originally Montauk and how they had this show Bible, and that they also put together what's called a sizzle reel of clips of movies and, sound bites from movies to just convey the idea of what the show is when they're pitching it to studios and to executives and things. And I've been jonesing to see this thing since I completely had given up all hope of it happening. But then Ross posted it last week. So if you haven't seen it yet, run. Look up Ross's account in Instagram. As of the time of us taping this, it was his most recent post. He doesn't really post that much, so I imagine it'll still be his top post. We'll obviously post to it in the socials. I'm not going to play the whole thing here. I mean, I'll go ahead and start playing it in the background, but we'll kind of talk about it as it's going because it's really incredible. So it's about 2.5 minutes long, and they kind of caption it themselves, giving a lot of the backstory of Montauk and Long Island and the labs and the CIA and MK Ultra and all that kind of stuff. And then it's just a series of clips from movies, Jaws and Super 8 and Close Encounters and The Fog and E.T. and just really, really crazy stuff. So what was your take watching this thing?
Oh, I just thought, I thought it was so cool. Oh God, I don't even know how to describe it. I think it took me back to like film school. It reminded me of things you did, because when you're younger in college, if anyone went to, media study or film school, right? You're just copying everything. You're making Kill Bill Part 4. Yeah, right. But it reminded me of just a really cool exercise that it could be like an assignment almost.
Yeah.
Chop this up, find some continuity between random clips that you can pull from anywhere. It was really remarkable to me how they established some sort of tangible story. It's like a trailer story, right?
Yeah, right.
But just with random clips from movies that I knew, and it didn't even bother me that I'm like, oh,
right.
I stopped paying attention to worrying about trying to identify the clip, and I got lost in just it as a whole, as a new thing.
Oh, so that was the exact same way. 30 seconds in, I'm like, Jaws, Super 8, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Fog.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really, really cool. And I really liked, two things jumped out at me. One, all of the little moments, mixed in with the science and the monsters and the creepiness but there's a shot of a family, I can't remember, it was Poltergeist. The family sitting around the table in Poltergeist eating waffles.
That's right. Yes.
Drops the waffle on the floor and there's a dog. So that was really cool that they did that kind of stuff too. So it wasn't just we're going to scare the crap out of you and this is going to be a really freaky sci-fi thing.
Right.
But the other thing I really got a kick out of was their captions that they put on it and calling it an unspeakable horror and a terrifying 8-part epic and that kind of thing. Because I know, and it's so funny watching it kind of through Nancy's eyes too, because it is scary. I mean, it is horror.
Sure.
But I'm just so deconditioned to it by now. I mean, it's just, it
Right.
has zero, terror impact on me. But so
Right.
I think it was really cool to be reminded that, yeah, it may not be an unspeakable horror, but there are some really terrifying moments in this show still.
For sure.
And I also, I mean, maybe it was them just being a little bit modest and hoping for more, but calling it an 8-part epic
Sure.
as opposed to a show that we hope goes 5 seasons and 42 episodes. That was kind of interesting too. But yeah, I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, overall, for me, it was just really interesting to see that in retrospect, you see that translated directly to the show. Everything that they like, it's amazing to see the sketch before.
Yeah, right.
It's all fleshed out, and you could see how they got there. Yeah. And how it developed.
And I think it's cool too, obviously, and they wouldn't have put it out before we had, watched anything, but it's really cool to now see that and go back and think of, they put that in, that is there.
Yeah.
That was, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it was really cool. So
the only thing, if I, I guess this would be the one sort of thing that would be a little bit on the negative side, but not like I was criticizing the Sizzler piece at all, but it did get me watching that. It did draw me back to more of the season 1 vibe, and it had, a dark, the Sizzler had a darker tone than the show overall, and I was like, oh man, I really dig at the show if it was still a little darker, but it's a lot of popcorn now. But
yeah, I think it was interesting too that they didn't. I mean, they said it took place in 1980, but they didn't really play up the nostalgia feel of it, which is one of the things that I really love about it, is the attention they pay to, the costumes and the set design and the music and, that kind of thing. If they had like a song playing in the background that was more 80s, and I know that was, Ross said that's where they first, came up with having Dixon Stein score the show, because that's Dixon and Stein's music.
The score is so good.
Underneath it.
Yes.
But yeah, if they had like, I don't know, pick an 82, 83 song that would have fit in there, or even play up the nostalgia a little bit more, a shot of the stores in the mall or something like that. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. So that was really fun to see. And I can't believe I actually finally saw it. So it was like early Christmas. It was fun.
It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into what we want. You and I both have a list of 5 things each, but in general, do you have a sense of how you want this season to go? Or, you don't have to get into specifics yet, until you get your list, but,
generalities. I want it to be awesome. I want it to not suck.
Hold the bar high. Yeah.
Well, how do I say
I know what you're saying, though, but
it's the last one. So it's the last episode of a trilogy, the last season of a series, whether it's 5, 6, etc. It's the hardest one to nail. So that's the only thing that I'm sort of just like, and I have a number in there that sort of explains that a little bit more. Other than that, I just want, the same vibes to continue. I almost hope it dials it back a little bit, but I don't know if I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's Hawkins centric is really cool to me, that everyone's just going to be together. I'm really excited about that. But the town is in shambles, so how much can you hope for as far as
the town is a police state right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I do kind of hope they kind of, come back to their roots a little bit. I know they're going to ramp it up. I know it's going to be crazy. It's going to be violent. It's going to be terrifying. But yeah, I'm right with you. I'm very glad that, as far as we know, it's all Hawkins.
Yeah.
So that'll be really cool. Yeah, I mean, I think in general, it's hard to, when you start thinking of the final season of a show, to not have Game of Thrones kind of eating away in the back of your brain, and
Sure.
how amazing the show was until then. And then I remember watching the last season of Game of Thrones, and people that watched, I was talking with them, and people that didn't watch, and they're like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, it used to. I mean, they used to take 3.5 episodes to walk a mile down a road, and in 10 minutes of one episode, we fight an entire war. So it's just it was
Yeah.
just so accelerated, and so. I mean, you couldn't even wrap your head around what was going on so quick. So I don't think that's going to happen, per se, in Stranger Things. But I really, I would much rather it not be a big letdown. It was going so great until the final season, and then
Yeah.
all the fans are in an uproar and stuff. But I really think the Duffers are going to nail it. I mean, they've
Oh,
had
so do I.
all the time in the world to think about this. It is not,
Yeah.
in my opinion, obviously it's not relying on source material that didn't even exist, like Game of Thrones, but with the guy that did have stuff in his brain. It wasn't on paper yet, but they had to contend with that, and they also didn't have the luxury of taking 3 years to do it. So they got a firm foot on the gas pedal from HBO that they really had to follow, and the Duffers don't have that, obviously, since they've taken 3 years to do this.
True.
And gone through a strike and a pandemic and everything else along the way. So yeah. So
yeah,
okay.
the one thing too that I would say is that almost each season has its own vibe, and every time we went into the next season, right, all we had to go on was the previous one. So I think I would also like I want a new vibe that I don't even know I didn't even know that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Especially like season 3 was. When that came, it was like, what is this? This
Right.
is totally different. And then it was like, whoa, this is super fun.
Yeah.
And then 4, all the predictions about what 4 was going to be like, the last thing you saw was 3. So it's going to shade your opinion on that. And then all of a sudden it was all brand new and just, whoa.
Yeah.
Chrissy's getting snapped in the ceiling. And what is
We're
happening?
in Russia and people are, what is going on? Yeah.
So I hope it has its own sort of standalone type of vibe to it. I would guess though that it's going to be much like season 1, season 2 are pretty close in vibe. I think 4 and 5 will be pretty close in vibe too. But new stuff. And they don't typically do this too much. I don't want them to try to have another running up that hill. Like I hope they don't try to.
Force something that might not be there.
Yeah, right. So give me something new that I want to go crazy about.
Huh.
And I think they will.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go through my list real quick. You can go through yours. I've got a bunch of emails to get to. A lot of people talking about the teaser. A lot of people talking about what they want, and then some other stuff too. So we will get to that. And then because Whitney's not here, I got a special treat of an email at the end that I hope she hears. So that'll be kind of fun. Okay, so the first thing, and these are in no particular order, but the first thing I wrote down is, I've talked about it before, how I would really like some kind of origin story for the smoke monster, Demogorgon, and that whole thing. And I know we got the first shadow idea of the World War II test with the battleship and that whole thing. But I'd kind of like, even if it's a really quick thing, I don't want to spend 3 episodes on it, but some kind of something, how we found out how Elle opened the gate by seeing the Demogorgon in the deep dark void and screaming, and then the gate came in through the wall.
Yeah.
Maybe if we could have something like that, just to kind of give us the origin story of the big bads in this, just to, the origin story, not the how they came into Hawkins, but how it all started.
Sure.
That'd be kind of fun. I have a very strong feeling that there will be death in season 5. I'm just hoping for my number 2
Likely.
that they are good, meaningful deaths. They're not cheap or pointless or, whatever, just to wring some emotion out of us or something like that. I don't think the Duffers would do that. So
no, I don't think
that's
so
not
either.
a real worry of mine, but I really want, I wouldn't mind death. I mean, I would, I'm not praying for it, but it's going to be there, and I just want it to be
Pray
good.
for death.
Yeah, pray for death.
No, it certainly elicits an emotional reaction.
Yeah, right. I mean, to be realistic, somebody's going to have to either get horribly disfigured or die. I mean, with what they're going up against,
sure.
There's no way that my third one was, and this is just whatever the opposite of a pet peeve is, something just I really like. I really like good bookend things and stories. So they started with the kids playing Dungeons and Dragons. I thought it'd be kind of fun to end it, have some kind of, whether they're sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons or there's a reference to Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. It'd be kind of a neat little bookend on the series to kind of start and end somehow with Dungeons
I think it's
and
a
Dragons
foregone conclusion. I mean, if that doesn't happen, I'd be shocked.
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
Overall, for number 4, it's just kind of an overall feeling. I want a lot more attention paid to story and characters than on visual effects and, crazy, crazy things going on that might distract from the story and the characters. The Duffers have spent so much time building these phenomenal characters. I mean, beyond three-dimensional characters. I mean, these characters have Hopper's been an asshole. Billy had some good points. I mean, this is not, a black and white, simplistically written, character sketch and plot.
Oh, yeah, the characters make the show.
I just don't want them to feel like they need to give us more and more and have more and more visual effects.
Spectacle.
And then the story and the characters kind of suffer as a result. So I'm also cautiously optimistic that will happen. And then my last thing is just kind of a fun little idea. I would love to have, whether it's a reference or an appearance or, even call it a cameo or something, some kind of little homage or maybe a return to the show for Mr. Clarke, for Enzo, and maybe even for Suzie, to have them have some kind of role or reference or something like that, just so they don't get, forgotten. They were 3 of my, Mr. Clarke and Enzo were 2 of my all-time favorite, minor characters, and Suzie and Duffers, they're just so great together. I
really hope we see Mr. Clarke for sure.
Some kind of reference to them. And I know there's a whole bunch of other people. Yeah. In my notes, I said Yuri can suck it. Yeah, so I don't really care about Yuri. Or, there's some other characters. Keith from the arcade would be fun. But,
Keith,
I don't really need him. But I would really love, Mr. Clarke.
Fun to see Keith again.
And or Suzie. So
yeah,
I
want to see Tommy and Carol.
Oh yeah, got to have Tommy H and Carol, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him working some lame job.
Yeah, right. Just like
burnouts.
Yeah. Just like some dude hanging in an alley, or he's like sitting in an alley like a heroin junkie or something. I don't know. It's just something.
Or maybe Tommy knocked her up and now they're getting it all together, right? Real fast.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, now they have a white picket fence in suburbia, and Tommy and Carol and their 2 kids. Oh my heavens! So, all right, kids. Hit me with yours.
All right. Before I do, the daughters wanted me to drop a couple on you from them.
Okay.
They're quick. They're big on Joyce ceasing to be a helicopter mom.
Oh.
So I asked them, and this is the first thing they said. They're like, "Oh, Mike and Eleven need to break up." I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, they need to move on.
Is that a relationship that can really sustain itself, though? Really?
All right. And then they really wanted to see a scene at Enzo's with
that'd be cool.
Joyce and Hopper at dinner at the end.
Yep. Oh, that'd be really cool. Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
Me too. Yep. Same with the D&D. I'm like,
assuming Enzo's is still there.
Well, sure, right.
And not at the bottom of a fiery pit in the middle of Hawkins. Yeah.
Maybe they'll do like a makeshift Enzo's picnic.
Yeah,
bottle of Chianti and
Enzo can cater a little thing on the town green. Yeah,
that's right. All right, my number 1, of course, is I need Max. I don't foresee this disappointing me. I don't need Max out of the coma right away. I'm down for whatever the story brings me, but I need Sadie. I need Sadie Sink is what I need, because she's too good to just be laying in a bed and pretending to be a corpse for too many episodes. I need some Sadie Sink acting.
Yep.
That's what I need.
Yeah, it was so fun going
yeah.
back and watching season 1 and 2, and well, season 2 obviously when she came around. But those first episodes and the scene with her skating around Mike in the gym when Elle looks on and makes her fall down. And then the scene, I had forgotten how good she was in this scene when Lucas is telling her everything in the back room at Bella's Arcade. And she just thinks it's a joke. And then they go back out into the arcade and Lucas is still dead serious, and it finally clicks with her. It's like, oh Jesus, this is real. And you can just, I mean, her face just melts. And it's just really phenomenal.
Really good physical actor, yes.
Really good, yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I need Max and Sadie Sink. Number 2, I want some semblance of regular life. This is one thing that I'm not holding my breath for. Hopefully they can give it a little bit, some way, somehow. But, I think a huge part of the charm of the show is seeing, the Halloween party, going to the snowball, just going to class, going to the counselor's office. I really like how these, supernatural sci-fi things intermingles with just regular life stuff. And the trials and tribulations of regular life and puberty and growing up are just as important and engaging for the audience as the supernatural stuff is, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm way more into like just the characters' relationships, honestly, than the Demogorgons. Demogorgons are cool too, but that type of stuff. I was thinking about if Mike was learning to drive from Ted, something like that. Or Nancy at college, if she went off, you never know where the show's going to be picking up from. So,
one more like running a stop sign, Michael. I don't even know if you're going to be on the team anymore.
You're on the bench, son.
Yep.
All right. So number 3, this is what I was getting at earlier. I phrased this as no Matrix Revolutions blunders. And
say no more.
I don't know. Yeah. I remember going to see the Matrix Revolutions after the first one, and the second one was still really good too, and the third one I was like, that was a piece of crap. I did not come here for epic battles of machine guns and bugs. I came here for interesting, thought-provoking philosophical ideas and cool ninja tricks.
Yep.
I just don't want them to get overblown with some sort of crazy battle. I was flashing back to my rant when I was talking about Rogue One getting ruined at the end, right? Like, don't get sucked into this trap thinking you need a dogfight when that's not what we're here for.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Though I'll fight you in an alley over Rogue One, but that's a whole other thing. So that's
no, I love Rogue One. Yeah. I just did. I didn't. I was like, that space battle was unnecessary. The espionage in the thing was just so original and good.
Yeah, it was. That was such a good movie.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Anywho's, all right. My number 4 is I hope they continue the trend of having really scary human villains. If you go through all the seasons, there's human villains that are just as scary as the monsters. The bullies in season 1,
Billy,
season 2, Billy, right? Very, very frightening. The bullies in season 4, the jocks, right? The human. Yep. So that's like a. I haven't read too many Stephen King books, but I think that's really in line with Stephen King novels, is it not, Colin?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if there is a weird, paranormal thing going on, there's usually, I mean, it is the classic example. So you got Pennywise, the monster running around, plus you have all the bullies that are, terrorizing the kids at the same time. So, there's always, usually, fairly strong bad guy aspect on the human plane.
Yeah, so I hope that continues, and I hope it's just not the military, you know what I mean?
Right.
More like regular life regular life villains. You know.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what Linda Hamilton is. If she kind of takes over for Agent Sullivan, and I mean, all I really have to go on is the clip in the teaser.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, she could have just been determined going to help our heroes, but she kind of looked kind of gnarly, like she was, you know.
Yeah, she looked ticked off.
Yeah. So.
Well, Agent Sullivan's in it too, I think.
Yeah.
He's coming back, so
yeah.
He just hasn't been in the teaser. And my number 5 is all in on Will. I should, sort of expound on that statement. Like I want Will to be really intriguing again.
Mm-hmm.
He's been boring since season 2.
Yeah.
When he was my MVP, hands down in season 2. He was so good. And I think we're going to get that. So I want to see Noah Schnapp go crazy, possessed, or really start talking again. And I want it to be really interesting. And I think it will. Will's obviously gay. I want to see how that unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
People have theories about him and Mike that I completely disagree with. We'll get to that later.
Sure.
But, I feel like those theories are overlooking what I find to be an extremely interesting topic to be discussing on a show like this, which is, what is it like to be a closeted homosexual at the age of 15 and 16 in 1987?
Right. Yeah.
That is epic horror.
Yeah. Talk about a terrifying, experiment. Yeah.
Yes.
Good Lord.
And,
not experiment, but you know what I mean? Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's right.
Yeah.
It's an interesting case study. And, that has much like I had never seen the Satanic Panic used so well in season 4. I think that subject matter is something that I really haven't seen in a show of this nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, a movie or a show explicitly focused on, tensions of homosexuality and things like that. So
right.
I'm excited for them to weave that in, and I think they've been doing a very good, subtle job moving towards it. And I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I am too. There's a lot of potential there for some really good, meaningful, thought-provoking discussion topic kind of things to happen, and there's also plenty of space for it to kind of go off the rails. So again,
right? Yes,
I got all the trust in the world in the Duffers, so they haven't let me down yet. So we'll, except for one little episode in season 2. So hopefully that, got it out of their system, and we're staying on track. So
that's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else in general you want to talk about, or you want to just get into emails?
Oh, no. Did you want to talk about the teaser at all? I had that music stuff that I missed.
Oh, right. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
So last episode, I was having some serious technical problems. I was chiming in with a lot of stuff
that we knew nothing about, but yeah, sure. Whitney and I are just having a conversation and figured Doug's off,
anyway,
a scarf or something.
No, I was all in. I'm like, man, these two don't want to listen to me today or something. But either way, it doesn't matter. So anyways, I really wanted to double back on the teaser as far as the song, because man, that is one of my favorite songs of all time. I remember quote unquote discovering that song when I was really getting into older metal and things like that. I was a real metalhead back in the day and loved Black Sabbath. And I'll never forget when I really delved into Deep Purple outside of Machine Head. And man, like some of that old stuff, they're bangers. And even Burn, which David Coverdale is one of my all-time favorite albums from the Mach 3 version of Deep Purple. But you were asking me about the song and if they manipulated it or anything like that. And so what I was saying, I was talking about, so what they did, I know the song very well. So the rhythm of the whole, the driving rhythm, which is the dun, 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 right?
Right.
But that is significantly slowed down. So in the song, that is like a crescendo in the middle. And then the rest of the song, like sort of how Whitney mentioned it earlier too, it's a lot like Stairway to Heaven, where it breaks the rule of changing the tempo in music. Like Stairway to Heaven, the tempo progressively gets faster and faster as you go. This one in Child in Time, it's all over the place. So it's very long and slow, and then all of a sudden it kicks right into that driving rhythm, the dun da 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 da. So, anyways, what I was that opens the trailer, and so that is slowed down to match the tempo of the rest of the song, which is playing at the normal tempo, which I don't think is re-recorded at all, where it has the vocals.
Oh, the vocals. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're not only are they
they're just kind of overlapping the two.
Not only are they altering the sound, but they are also meshing 2 points of the song together. So, anyways,
okay.
I wanted to answer your question more.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been waiting for a couple weeks now, so nice for you to.
Sorry. I obviously I love music and I love talking about songs that I love too. So I was really jazzed up to keep talking about that. And I was like, wow, I guess we're moving on. But other than that, I didn't really miss saying anything else except when you guys were saying that Jonathan was looking pretty beat up. I was being an old dirty dad and saying how Nancy was looking real hot, and I loved her hair.
Yeah, no, she did. Yeah, I mean, despite crying into a sink or washing blood off her hands at a sink and crying to Jonathan. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Again with the rewatch that we're doing to go back, even as far as the first episode, the pilot episode, and she again is this little mousy, demure thing that meets Steve in the bathroom before school, and she's just so. I mean, her hair's longer, and she's just so frail,
meek.
And very meek, and it's just so funny. This was, the Funko Pop, right? With, Machine Gun Nancy. So that actually Nancy gave me Nancy. So it's just crazy to go back and look at her then. I mean, it's crazy to go back and look at all of them, but especially how 180 Nancy was from where she wound up being.
She's full-blown Sigourney Weaver and Aliens.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Power Nancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a gun.
Absolutely. And the guns get better because she has just the handgun in season 1, and by the end she's got a shotgun, and there's Molotov cocktails and all kinds of stuff going on.
That's right. So, that's right.
All right, let's do some emails, and we'll bring this thing home. First email is from Heather. She says, "Hey, Collin and Whitney and Doug, thanks for the great bonus episode on the teaser. In response to Doug's question of the familiar sound effect from the opening scene of the teaser," that's the...
Oh, yeah.
Steve cranking the antenna in the van. It personally reminded me very much of the mid-credit scene at the end of season 3 when the guards are cranking open the door to let the Demogorgon in to have his way with the prisoner. So this is when, after season 3 is over, it fades to black in the snow, and then it's Kamchatka, and they say, not the American, and then they go and they put the other prisoner in, open the gate, and the Demogorgon comes out. So this is the sound from that. And then this is the sound of Steve in the teaser. Right, so except for the little clicking, very similar with the groaning and the squeaking and that kind of thing. But then you, this is hilarious.
Yes.
Random text from you last week, so go ahead and take that away.
Well, after the pod, I was sitting there just racking my brain. I'm like, I know I've heard this. And Heather, good call. That is what I thought it was originally, and I did check. And I'm like, no, it's not. I thought it was from the show. And then it finally dawned on me, and I think it's pretty spot on. It's from Jurassic Park, the infamous scene, or famous scene, I should say, of when the T-Rex first escapes the pen. And it's like, we'll play the clip, but really like the whole ambiance of the sound design with the clicks versus the raindrops in the scene in Jurassic Park paired with this sound. And I think it's pretty close, and I think I remembered it. Go ahead, Collin.
Yeah, so it's a squeaky. So here's Steve again. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's like a combination of both, right? Because it's the cranking of the Demogorgon one, and then the groaning and the whining of the Jurassic, and that's where they wound up. So anyway, thank you, Heather, for that.
It's not
email.
exactly.
Yeah.
No complete replica, but that's where my brain was going. It's pretty close.
That would be funny though if I pulled up the Jurassic Park clip and they use the exact sound, right? Like they
Sure,
actually.
I wouldn't put it
That'd be
past
funny.
them. Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Heather says, yeah, maybe that's where your memory was taking you as well. Love you guys from Heather in California. So thank you, Heather, for that email. Great to hear from you.
Thank you, Heather. All right, next one is from Leanne from the Discord. So my season 5 must-have is that the Raccoons theme music is featured somehow. And oh my God, yes. Oh, we don't have a clip, but we do have a link to it.
No,
right
we
now.
don't. YouTube zapped me. I can't.
Oh,
I'm like,
zapped.
are you kidding me with this? Like the
Well, I'll
Raccoons?
sing it for you. Run with us. We've got passion in our eyes.
It's just so bizarre to me. We do a whole show with 40
best.
sound clips. 40 sound clips of songs from the 80s. I think one of them, I think Mr. Crowley gets zapped, but then the Raccoon theme music gets zapped. So we will include a link to it in the show notes or the show notes on the social so you guys can find it if you don't know it or remember it. But yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It is sneaky, like might be the best theme from the 80s cartoons. It's sneaky good. I remember loving it as a kid, like just as a song, not like walking around singing a theme. I was like, that song is great.
I used to love the Dungeons and Dragons Saturday morning cartoon.
Ooh.
I remember that one. It was, but the little dude, the little Yoda talking is like Cavalier and Acrobat. That whole thing. So I really like that one. So anyway.
Cool. And Katie from Spotify says, theory. I think the shot of young Will could be tied to time travel. Maybe the only way to stop Vecna is for Will to go back to the day he was taken. Love the pod. What are your thoughts on the time travel? I'm down on thinking there's going to be any time travel.
I'm down for whatever. I mean, I think we were all just assuming it was kind of a flashback, but good Lord, could be. I mean, it is one or the other, obviously, because it is young Will, and we saw this image from the way back behind the scenes video that they put out a while ago, several months ago. So we know it's young Will because he's dressed the same way. So yeah, it's either time travel or flashback. I don't know. I was
saying, I'm not thinking there's going to be any time travel. I was saying I was down on that idea. Not I'm down.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, not down for it. I'm down on it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we haven't really had time travel per se, other than going to the upside down, which is but that's perpetually stuck at a time. They didn't that time. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm not going to say no, Katie. Good Lord, we've learned our lesson many times over on that front. So I will go with it until someone proves me different. We'll put it that way.
Well, we will see.
All right, next email is from Ames. She says, ahoy, Scoopers. Is anyone else shaking from that trailer? I'm hoping the show is more subdued and less high octane, but I'll take it. I'm already loading my backpack with flashlights, a Walkman, extra batteries, and Necco wafers because I am ready to go. After listening to that last episode, I sense there is a thought that Jonathan might die. That would be terrible, and it makes me sad. I think season 4 left a bad Jonathan taste in our mouths because he was just checked out and stoned with Argyle all the time. But would you blame him? In my opinion, his nervous system needed a rest. He'd been ceaselessly keeping a vigilant eye on his mother and brother, also moved way away from his girlfriend, and let's not forget that Jonathan, among other things, did create the famous nail baseball bat, followed Nancy on off-book newspaper investigations, worked extra shifts to bring home some cash for the fam, and tried to even dig the slug out of Elle's shin. So give this selfless hero the praise and redemption he deserves.
Yeah, he gets shit on more than Mike does.
Right? Here for Jonathan. Absolutely.
I forgot that he made that bet. Steve.
Right? He did. He was the one that made
Bogarted his
Steve gets
bet.
the credit for it. Jonathan made it. Secondly, she says, I want Joyce to be the one to take down the big bad, whether it's a creature or Brenner's team. She lost her son to an interdimensional kidnapping, found him in a wall by use of lights, put together his Crayola vine map, buried her rubber dummy fake son after a cover-up, and then scorched her real son to exorcise his possessor. Let Joyce get the revenge she has mightily earned. For that matter, if we could get Barb's mom in there as a wingman in the final takedown, I wouldn't be upset. Justice for the terrorized moms.
Yeah.
And then she wraps it up by saying, can you guys feel the activated buzzing of the invigorated fan base right now? I do, and I love it. Be well, my dudes, Amy G. Yeah, I mean, totally. Just looking at the stats of our, listeners, but, the number of emails we're getting, the passion in the emails that we're getting.
Yeah.
People that I talk to at work or on the street or in the stores or whatever, friends of mine or family or whatever. Yeah, everybody's getting jacked about this thing, and we're still 4 months away. So,
I know.
Good gravy.
God, we might hit like another lull.
Right.
we got 4 months. It'll come fast. It goes fast. School start, all that jazz. And I really like the idea of Joyce coming up as the big hero at the end. I
like that. That'd be kind of fun. She's got to have some kind of role.
If I had to put my money on some, valued odds, I would bet on Joyce, having the final stab in the heart.
Yeah. We've certainly seen enough of her, being bad, strong Joyce. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be out of character. Certainly, no.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
All right, next one's from Anna. Ahoy, strange podcasters. Like many, many others, I've been in love with Stranger Things ever since my mom sat me down to watch episode 1. The show is very dear to me and my sister. We watch it together all the time, and last week we went through it for the 5th or 6th time. We also saw the first shadow in London, which we adored, especially because of the special effects and the attention to detail. Okay, first of all, I like this. Eddie is totally dead. D-E-D, dead. She didn't write that.
Yeah, no.
Is that Dracula dead and loving it? I think.
You're right. I think so.
No, it's from. It's from Men in Tights.
There you go. That's right.
All right, no more Eddie, but I do think he might appear in a vision of Dustin's like Billy for Max, which would be cool. I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think the main 4 boys will all make it out, and I want the show to end with them all alive. Yes, even Will. I also think Max and Hopper will both make it out alive since they've both already had their deaths teased. I think there's going to be an episode that flashes back to Will in the Upside Down. You could see this teased in the released set photo of a kid dressed exactly like Will in episode 1 falling off a tree.
Yeah,
and maybe another flashback for Elle. Thirdly, Joyce and Hopper will have a wedding at the end of the show, or at least a planned one.
Sure.
Or at least planned one. And finally, my last and possibly most controversial opinion, Will and Mike are going to be endgame. My sister and I have been paying extreme attention to detail of their friendship, like mirroring of scenes with Mike and Will and other couples. Obviously, Will is gay and in love with Mike, and I believe their getting together would be the wisest writing choice for the characters. I could see them making a storyline in season 5 of Will trying to come out to his mom or confess his feelings for Mike amidst the chaos of everything, and maybe Mike telling Will he feels the same could potentially save Will from being possessed. Something like this sort of happened in season 2. I know this might seem like a long shot because throughout the show it seems like Mike and Elle were made for each other, and any queer coding for his character is really subtle. I'm definitely not alone with this theory though, and I think it totally makes sense. Love the show. What do you think? Love, Anna. Well, Anna, I agree with half of that, and I strongly disagree with the other half, as I was saying before. I don't think Mike's got the hots for Will at all, but I'm really intrigued by that dynamic of what that means for their friendship if Will is in love with his best friend, which is, something that could easily happen.
Yeah, I think that's not going to get. I don't think that's going to get swept under the rug or anything. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be a plot point. It's going to come up certainly. Yeah, I don't think just the way we've been going that's going to be the end game. Now you may want it all you want, and that's perfectly fine.
Sure.
But yeah, I haven't seen anything to kind of convince me in that direction, and I know. Again, if this is something that you want and you cared passionately about, you're going to read cues differently the way than I read cues. So, I mean, and again, God knows anything could happen.
Sure.
But yeah, and I'm not saying I don't necessarily want it to happen. I'm just saying I don't see how it could happen. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, certainly.
I like the theory either way of, Mike's love of Will, whether it's romantic or just a friendship. Pulling him out and saving him regardless, whether, that's
absolutely. Yeah.
Unto itself. Right.
Yeah. That's what I say. I don't think it's going to be ignored. I don't think, it's not going to come up or anything like that. I think it'll definitely be definitely be a significant thing. So,
Oh, I was also just watching a handful of season 2 episodes with younger daughter, and there's a bunch of stuff in season 2 that I think is really going to come to play with Will too that I didn't mention earlier. That on his email triggered, right? Like they're talking thoroughly about like Will having second sight in season 2 that
Yep.
sort of just got lost in the shuffle. When they're having a big discussion in the AV room, like if Will really does have second sight, and I'm like, oh my god, how did we forget about this? Like this is coming back for sure, right? Just the fact that he could flash into the upside down and he flashes, he's not doing it
Right.
at will, but maybe that's something that comes back. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah, totally. Okay, next email is from Austin. Hey there, everyone. This is my first time emailing. I have a couple thoughts on the newest trailer. One, I think the radio being turned up could be a broadcast to prevent the people of Hawkins from being taken over by VH1, similar to Max listening to Running Up That Hill. I know that theory falls a little flat because in order to work, it has to be the person's favorite song, but that's kind of the vibe I got.
That's
Number
cool.
2, yeah, I do. It is good. Good. Number 2, not 100% sure of what Jonathan is talking about in the trailer, and that's where he says, after we've been through this thing, it ties us together forever. But it might not be an indication of him dying. I think it could be him and Nancy talking about their relationship, possibly breaking up, but saying they will always be connected from their shared trauma. Yeah, that certainly could be it. I mean, he doesn't look injured in that moment. It's not like he's, Eddie Munson on the back of the, lying on the concrete, staring up at the heavens and Dustin and, realizing he's dying. So, yeah, it could, good Lord, could be anything. So he could just be waxing poetic about, their lot in life at the moment. So who knows? But
no, exactly what Austin said is with the sentiment that I got. It seemed like a potential breakup scene, honestly, or, we're not together, but we will always be bound together type of thing. Like, yeah, we're only 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's live.
Number 3, says Austin, I'm guessing time travel will be a part of this season since the Upside Down is stuck at the beginning of the show. So I'm thinking season 5 is split into 3 parts, similar to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. They lose in Infinity War and then they time travel to fix their loss in Endgame. And I think since most of the trailer is from the first part, they lose to VH1, figure out time travel through the Upside Down into part 2, the Christmas volume, and then the final episode on New Year's Eve is the big showdown fight. So I'm not convinced there's time travel, but again, like we were just talking about, could be, but I think time jumps might happen, right? Like, it may be September of 87 when we start, and then it may be November of 87, and then it may be in the finale, maybe it's April or, March or something. So not obviously time travel, but I think there's going to have some kind of time jumping in there. So we'll see how that goes.
The more I've been thinking about it, the more I think that it's not going to be that.
Yeah.
They haven't done that in any of the seasons. It all
time travel or time jumping? Time travel,
jumping. Time jumping.
Okay.
I mean, what are we at 2 days later in season 4? Every other season
month
has
later
been...
month later in season 1, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Epilogues.
I just don't think it'll all be like a 4-day, week like season 4 was. That was basically, 4 days, I think, right?
Right. Yeah. I think it might. I think it's going to be like that.
I guess I'm hoping because that'll give time for Max to wake up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then Austin wraps it up saying, since Stranger Things is coming to an end, I have 2 jokey ideas for some movies or shows that should be made. Hopefully Hollywood is listening because I think these could make a fortune. First one, a movie called Oops, All the David Harbors. So basically it's Hopper, the Red Guardian, Hellboy, and Santa from Violent Night all teaming up to go on an epic adventure. Who doesn't want to watch David Harbour play 4 different parts in one movie? If Eddie Murphy can do it in The Nutty Professor, David Harbour can do it. I love that. That's brilliant. I would watch that all day. Number 2, who wouldn't want to see a TV show about Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us teaming up with Hopper and Eleven? They'll flip from the upside down fighting Demogorgons to right side up fighting the infected. Joel and Hopper have very similar stories of losing a kid and then taking in another kid later. Ellie and Eleven would definitely be friends and have fun taking out different monsters together. HBO and Netflix need to team up and make this happen. Also brilliant. I love that. Love the podcast, and in preparation for season 5, my son and I are starting our rewatch. He has never seen season 4 because I thought at the time it was a little too much. So it's going to be great showing it to him for the first time. Thanks again for the great show. And then please, for the love of God, don't play the Whitney puking noise. So there it is. Thank you, Austin, for writing in. I mean, she's not here, so she can't tell me not to do it.
Oh boy! Oh,
I'm triggering people's emetophobia now, so that's cool.
yeah, amazing. All right, next one is from Quinn from New Hampshire. Collin, Whitney, and Doug, first off, thank you for putting together that emergency pod on the release of the teaser trailer. It was great to hear some discussion and analysis right away. You're welcome. I had a great time doing it. Follow-up comments. Not a surprise we'll see flashbacks of Will in the Upside Down. I'm still hoping we'll also get to see what happened to Eleven when she escaped the lab and how she can sense Will in the Upside Down throughout season 1. Yeah, that was always one of the main questions. I was always asking, like, how does she know this kid from that picture? From the science fair picture.
I actually had the same question when I went back and rewatched it too. Yeah. I have every time I've rewatched it. I'm like, wait a second, because that's never really addressed.
She doesn't get eyes on Will until 1-7, but she recognizes him in Mike's photo and tracks him down on the walkie. I'd like to know how that happened. I also need to know whether Will cut himself or otherwise had his blood infected with anything during this time here. Yeah. Quinn has this blood theory coming through this whole email. Here we go.
Well, I mean, we had the thing with Nancy and Jonathan, right? I mean, they figured it out from Barb dripping her blood in the pool, and then Nancy and Jonathan cut their hands, right? So,
okay, sure.
You know, but Will, to the best of our knowledge, had just been riding his bike and stopped in the middle of the street. So, yeah, if there was any...
Oh, okay. I thought he was talking about getting his blood cut in the Upside Down. But yeah. Well, I think
that's how I'm reading it anyway. So
yeah, interesting. Yeah. I would posit that I think that Demogorgon came through and was maybe chasing 11, and then since he doesn't have eyes,
I have always thought that Will was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all it was. Will was not picked for anything particular. Had Dustin taken that road home, it would have been Dustin, but it was Will because Will happened to go that way. That's how I've always thought of it. So
yeah. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, that blood aspect of the whole thing really fell off after season 1. It was like a real Jaws vibe, but then, oh well.
Yeah.
Steve's car is definitely driving into a gate. You can see the string-like material across the opening as the driver's side mirror breaks off, and this finally makes sense of the previous video.
The previs. It was the previs. The previs.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I don't remember if you saw it. I think it was before you hopped on, but I think it was like last October, maybe. Yeah, it's last October.
Oh, okay.
Stranger Writers on their Twitter feed put out this picture, and so it's the kind of the concept art, really rough graphic representation. So you see Nancy and Jonathan in the back of the car. So Steve's driving, Dustin's there too. So this is, there was a little bit of a thing that went with it, like a little quick clip. But yeah, this is what he's talking about. So it's called Previs.
Gotcha.
And so I'll post a link to the Stranger Writers tweet so you guys can see that. But yeah, that's what he's talking about.
I'm leaning in on the theory that they're trying to use it as a weapon against someone or something in the Upside Down. Maybe this could be the burn that Mike is counting down to. Interesting. Yeah. Well, let's see. It seems like that's the one thing that I was totally into in that trailer. I was like, yeah, we're going back to the future, 88 miles per hour into the gate. I'm all in.
And then Vecna's on the other side, pushing it close, with his hands. Yep.
All right, we haven't seen 11 fly before, but we have seen how her powers have grown and evolved throughout the series as she's needed them. Quinn's simply suggesting, the powers have amped up, and maybe we're moving on to flying. Doug's theory that the smoke monster Mind Flayer is the show's ultimate antagonist is highly persuasive. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We've seen VH1 manipulate the smoke particles into the shape of the drawing form of the Mind Flayer, and I presume the smoke is how he animates and controls the vines and demo things and creates the hive mind between them all. But perhaps, as Doug says, it's the smoke manipulating him the whole time, or maybe by this point it's symbiotic, which would help prevent the dreaded redemption arc. Yeah, I think it's symbiotic. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Either way, this is a seamless extension of the origin story from the first Shadow and would explain Ross posting the pic of Wrinkle in Time back in February.
Right.
Hopper's statement, wherever this blood leads, is curious. Whose blood? I expect this is another avenue for season 5 crossover with the first Shadow. There's likely to be some explanation of how Henry and Eleven's blood relates to their powers. This is also why it's important to see what happened to Will in the Upside Down in season 1. Yeah, see, he's talking about getting cut in the Upside Down.
Oh, okay.
If his blood gets commingled with or infected by VH1 or perhaps another villainous creature, it can determine whether he has any abilities or not. I don't know. Interesting theory. I don't think they'll get that complex with mixing blood, though. That's,
Yeah, I mean, he's infected anyway, obviously, because of the smoke monster. In the schoolyard.
Yeah, I think the smoke does it. We don't need the blood.
Yeah, I mean that presumably got into his bloodstream somehow or something.
Sure. Yeah. The smoke. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's all in his blood.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, Colin. All right. Elle is wearing a submersible helmet during Hop's speech. Maybe they're back in the lab for another dunk in the water tank, which would be interesting.
Could be.
As mentioned on the Discord, if season 5 is starting in the fall of 1987 and Lucas's watch, the digital watch, the TH for Thursday 11/2 is calibrated to the show's timeline, then we are looking at another time jump in 1989. I think I was looking at that on the Discord. I think it's just an M. I think we're getting too carried away here. I don't think we're going to 1989. There must be another commentary or speculation on this somewhere. Has anyone seen anything reputable? No.
Yeah, no, I think this might just be a goof, that they weren't paying attention to what the watch said or something like that. I could be wrong, but I don't think, unless Lucas says, it's November 2nd, Thursday, then, sure. But I think he was just wearing a watch that happened to, how many times in movies is there a clock on the background and it says it's, 4:00 on a middle of a day and it's, dark out or whatever.
That's right.
So,
It happens. Yes. This is not Lost. This is not Severance.
Right.
Even where they're paying attention to every single detail. This is Stranger Things. The characters are much more important than these little tiny details.
Yeah.
All right. Beyond all that, the only thing I really need from season 5 is to know that Owens is okay and that he makes it back to Hawkins to help with the final confrontation. We've invested too much time in his character for him to not make it back. I'm sure we're going to get some Owens.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure we'll see Owens. Yeah.
Bear wins and following sees Quinn in New Hampshire.
Thank you, Quinn. Always good to hear from you. Our next one is from another Quinn we haven't heard from in a while, but she is back, and she is from Ohio. Oh, Iowa. Sorry.
Iowa.
I had Ohio in the brain. Hi, it's Quinn, the one who emails maybe twice a year. I'm guessing the next normally scheduled episode will most likely focus on the trailer that came out today, but I needed to share some music and other random stuff. I really, really need there to be a Wham or George Michael song in this season. I know Wham probably, absolutely. I know Wham probably wouldn't fit the vibe, so it's more likely that George Michael would be a possibility, even though his debut album came out October 30th, 1987. That's kind of right where we're going.
I think so.
Close enough, right? They've flubbed timelines with music choices before, too, so.
It's close enough.
Yeah. I also need a scene similar to Harry and Hermione dancing in the Deathly Hallows. I don't care with who. Joyce and Hopper would be really cute, even if it's just two friends, but I love that moment in the Deathly Hallows just because there was a little bit of coziness with all the chaos going on. Anyways, that's all I could think of for now. I'm just really excited for season 5. I started watching the show when I was 9, so it's been a while, and I'm glad the wait is finally over. So thank you, Quinn. Great to hear from you again. Really, really nice to see your email the other day. So thanks for writing.
Super cool. I really want some George Michael too.
Yeah.
All right, next. Oh, that's the one. Yes, Scott. Yes, we are on the same page as per usual. Excuse me. All right, next one is from Hunter. Hello, Collin, Doug, and of course, Whitney. I'm Hunter, and I have been a fan of this pod since I was 12. I am now 14 and going into high school all the way in Wyoming. Awesome.
Yahoo.
Yeah, Josh Allen country. Crazy Bills fan, Doug. All right, some things I need to happen in season 5 are, number 1, give me more Steve and Dustin, the dynamic duo no one thought they needed until season 2 on the train tracks. Absolutely amazing duo. They are great together. And I think they're going to be, it looks like the pack going into the Upside Down, at least from the trailer, is Jonathan, Steve, Nancy, and Dustin. I think.
Robin
too?
I think Robin's in one clip. Wasn't she in one clip? But
I thought that
you're right.
yeah.
The four of them outside the lab. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 2, not for 11 to fly, but to have super jump ability. I feel like flying would bring in too much hate and confusion. I think a super jump where she jumps high for a short period of time would be better. And yeah, I think that's a cool idea too.
Yeah, I don't need
Straight up
Superman
flying is
saying,
pretty wild.
Yeah.
Might get a little too marvelly. And
Right.
I don't want that.
No.
Yeah. Number 3, Lucas and Max at the movies. Hell yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't care if she can't see the show. I still need to see this happen. And the same thing with Joyce and Hopper at Enzo's, of course. Yeah. It just needs to be done. And I know y'all keep saying that Murray is going to die, but he can't because he's my second favorite character behind Dustin. His humor and personality are great. Yeah. I don't want to see Murray die either.
No, I don't want to see him either. The only reason I mentioned him in the last episode is I think he could.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
without too much consternation, but other than me and Hunter. But yeah, still, yeah.
Number 4, more shots of the monsters. They're just so cool.
They are.
And number 5, find out what is under Lucas's bed. What is it? Dirty magazines, drugs. Maybe he's hiding a baby Demogorgon like Dustin did. Who knows? Yeah, who knows?
Right. It could be a dead body for all we know, right?
I think didn't Whitney say originally on the episode about that chapter that she was thinking it was like jars of pee?
Oh yeah, I think she did mention that at one point. Yeah,
that's been the best suggestion that I've heard, and I'm like, a teenage boy would definitely do that because he's so lazy he wouldn't get out of his damn room, pee in a jar and not
just leave it there and forget it's there. Yep, or not care. One of the other.
That's right. That's right. Anyways, guys, I'm headed out to football practice, so adios. Thanks a lot, Hunter, for writing in.
Thank you, Hunter. Next one is from Ellie in Greece. Hey, Collin, Whitney, and Doug, how are you? I'm fine, but hot, mainly because July is the hottest month of the year in Crete, so send me patience. Also, my best friend has gone to Italy for 5 days, so safe to say we are jealous. Yes, we all are. I haven't left Greece since I was 6, and I'm nearing 16. Also, Whitney mentioned the last episode.
Poor Ellie.
Which is great. She started writing in when she was 12.
That's right. Yeah.
And now she's 16. It's just crazy to me.
Yes.
Also, Whitney mentioned last episode that it seems like I have a charmed life. Trust me, I do not. I just happen to be an extremely optimistic person. I'll add, living in a gorgeous country. So I guess the chipperness shows in my emails.
Yeah.
Okay. First off,
jealous. I was just very jealous that you live in Greece, Ellie.
Yes, it's just the Greece thing. Yeah.
Yes, without a doubt.
When I saw VH1's new appearance, I'm thinking that when he got firebombed and fell out the window, the fire just burned his vines off, and the bony, branchy things that he now has is just the equivalent of his bones, maybe? I don't know. Makes sense to me. Also, you didn't read Netflix's description they included with the teaser, which says, and I didn't even notice that this was on there, but if you go onto YouTube, Netflix and the video from the teaser, it says this underneath it. The fall of 1987, Hawkins is scarred by the opening of the rifts, and our heroes are united by a single goal, find and kill Vecna. But he has vanished. His whereabouts and plans unknown. Complicating their mission, the government has placed the town under military quarantine and intensified its hunt for 11, forcing her back into hiding. As the anniversary of Will's disappearance approaches, so does a heavy, familiar dread. The final battle is looming, and with it, a darkness more powerful and more deadly than anything they faced before. To end this nightmare. I just want to read it with more gravitas, right?
Yeah.
To end this nightmare, they'll need everyone, the full party, standing together one last time.
Totally. I didn't know they had all that text.
Yeah. So thank you, Ellie, because I would have completely never even realized it. But yeah.
The heck? What are we doing?
Yeah, right?
That's a bad fail.
Yeah. And she says, just thought it was cool. Absolutely it was. I was listening to your episode on the second half of the piggyback, and Mike tells Elle, you can fly, you can move mountains. And I like how in the teaser she actually does fly. In that same episode of yours, Kathy wrote in suggesting a new segment called Best Closed Captions. I now need that, and I'm reminding you, so you in fact do it. Which is good. I like that one too. Yeah, we had all that stuff with eldritch thrumming and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And squelching. Yeah. Now, as for the actual subject of the episode, here's what I need. 1, Max to wake up. Duh, absolutely. 2, no one to die. And she says in parentheses, hey, a girl can dream. 3, Max
and Lucas. It might happen, really.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Max and Lucas to be together because my babies have gone through too much.
Oh, yeah.
And then number 4, she says, Elle and Mike to be together because, again, my babies have been through too much. And
Yeah.
5, I need Robin and Vicky in all caps.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that's good. All right, I'm done. Thanks for listening to my rant, which was extra long for no reason whatsoever. Bye, Ellie. P.S. Whitney mentioned in the teaser episode that she could part with Murray. Excuse me, Whitney. I cannot part with Murray. Please and thank you. So, thank you, Ellie. I love our listeners, and they just get attitude with us now. I love this. This is so cool.
Yeah. Bring the toot. Bring the toot. I like it. Bring the sass.
Perfect.
Hey, I'm with Ellie. I could really go for some romance with some of these couples. We haven't seen Max and Lemon kiss, or Max and Lucas kiss since the snowball.
Right.
I need a kiss.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, what happened? It's like the Princess Bride.
Right. It's inconceivable.
Yeah. All right. Next one is for Esme. Hey guys, I'm emailing with some super cool info. This is insider knowledge. Here we go. The girl who plays Holly in Stranger Things, season 5, Nell Fisher, is a friend of a friend. And from what I've been told, Holly plays a much larger role in Stranger Things season 5 and is featured a lot more than before. I have also been told that she is the character who vanishes in episode 2. I'm really excited to see Nell in the show and see Holly have a bigger role. This obviously isn't confirmed, but I've heard it from some pretty reliable sources. Her best friend. Love the pod. Esme.
Yeah, I think I was pretty sure that it was Holly that they were talking about for the disappearance. But yeah, that's really cool. And how fun must it be to have the inside track and that's my friend doing that. So that's kind of really cool.
Yeah, after we had our last couple of podcasts and we discussed who that was going to be at length a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, I'm trying to be too cool. It's probably just going to be Holly.
Yeah. I mean,
but still, I don't know. I still don't understand why they wouldn't just reveal that.
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say too. I mean, why?
Yeah. Why is that a secret?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, especially since it's the second episode, right? I mean, it's like.
Yeah, so it's obviously not like you're not giving away some ending, right?
Yeah. Episode 8, Holly Wheeler is dead. No, it's just the second episode, and she disappeared.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
But yes, thank you, Esme. That's really, really cool. I like that a lot. Next email is from Gina. Hello, Whitney, Collin, and Doug. Gina from Knoxville, Tennessee here. Hope you all are well. I usually don't ever listen in time to submit on time, but I made sure to set a reminder for this one. Talking about the trailer from your last episode, I do believe Ted Wheeler or Jonathan might be dust this season, and I will use this to move into my needs for season 5. I need Nancy, Jonathan, Steve love triangle to be resolved. I have always been more for Nancy and Steve because Steve has grown so much, and I've always loved her, and Steve has always loved her. And season 4 really got me rooting for him and Nancy again. I also don't like the season 1 Jonathan taking photos of Nancy, and I don't like the season 2 getting together of Nancy and Jonathan when there wasn't a clear breakup for them to, arrive at because of.
Teenagers.
Yeah. But also they could resolve it with Nancy choosing neither. Oh, Beverly Hills 90210, right?
Oh, yeah. I choose me.
Yeah, I choose me. And I would be happy. I'd even settle for Nancy and Jonathan if they finally resolve it and give Nancy and Steve a scene to actually talk. There you go. I really need Steve and Hopper to interact, exchange dialogue and everything. This is the last season, and I've always wanted them to have a scene of bonding over their always being the protectors and the shared trauma of being tortured by the Russians, LOL. But really not LOL. And Steve and Joyce having a scene together would also be great. Based on photos and behind the scenes, I think we are getting Robin and Will interactions, which I was also going to say is a must. Robin needs her backstory fleshed out a bit more as well.
Yeah, it would be nice.
I also need a clear and concise ending, not is the spinning top losing momentum or is my brain convincing me it is, like in Inception. I have to have a 90% happy ending, no body count above 2 or 3. Really, having no major deaths would be fine, LOL.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know Steve gets his RV and family dream, even if it's just one kid, and maybe that one kid is just Dustin and a dog. Ha!
I like that.
I would love to meet one or both of Steve and Robin's parents. Yeah, how have we never had Steve's parents?
I'm always curious about these things. Yeah. Yes, I just want to see what they look like.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think just a scene with each respectively could give a lot of deep insight into Robin and Steve's home lives. Absolutely it would. I would love to see all the kids' parents once again, or one more time. I need Max to recover, at least mostly, and I need her mother to have a come to Jesus as a result of all this and be there for her. I just want all the kids to have love and peace in the end. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I need Joyce and Hopper to be married happily by the prologue. Probably the epilogue, I assume she means.
Yeah.
Honestly, I need a happy and uplifting ending for everyone. I love dark, realistic, and gritty shows, but this show has personally been my dopamine show for the last decade, and I need everyone to be okay, minus a few casualties. Murray and Ted, I kind of like you both, but you guys can go. Thank you for all the podcasts and your thoughts. I can tell you that you all watch the show the same way I do, with media literacy, and I appreciate that. Can't wait for the final season, but also sad to see it go. All the best from Gina. Thank you, Gina. Great to hear from you.
Thank you, Gina. All right, next one's from Jordan. What I need to see in season 5, simply this: Max being alive. I am 99% sure she will be. Yeah, I saw that Sadie Sink is making the same pay as the rest of the kids. So would they really do that if she was killed off? Nah, I don't think so. No. And she's too good. They're not going to kill her off.
Right.
Last thing, Sarah Hinsgall.
Yep.
Head of the art department on Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Head of the hair department on Stranger Things, and who is married to Matt Duffer, started a podcast called Trailer Talk and Tea, and we'll add a link to that, where she interviews cast members. So far, she's interviewed Millie, as well as the actors that played Alexei, Heather Holloway, and Jason. Super fun listen leading up to season 5.
Yeah.
Lots of love, Jordan. Yeah, I didn't know that. Thanks for
sharing.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of that either. And actually, it's just out of curiosity, I just searched on Spotify for Stranger Things podcast, and it took a long time for it to pop up. So I don't know if I ever would have heard about it. So thank you, Jordan, for letting us know. I have not listened to it yet, but yeah, I will certainly give that a spin too. But yeah, obviously, with the exception of Millie, the other 3 of them are all dead and aren't coming back for season 5, so they wouldn't have any, insight necessarily. But yeah, it'd be kind of fun to hear their take on things. Certainly, yeah, for
sure.
All right, our last email, and this is a special treat for Whitney and longtime fans of the show. We'll probably figure out where this is going very quickly, but it is from Bob. He says, "Hi." I'm assuming it's a him. Could be a they. Could be a she. Hi, I just started listening to the podcast, and I'm gearing up for season 5. I was looking for a podcast that discusses all the previous seasons as I'm doing a rewatch. Thanks for making a fun and informative podcast. As a kid in the 80s and 90s in a suburb in Massachusetts, we absolutely played TV tag. So, listen, I don't even know how many I'm up to by now, but that's okay. I remember always starting with a show like V the Series or Quantum Leap and being accused of making shows up as the other kids didn't enjoy my exquisite taste in television. Those are good ones to lead with. I like those. And then finally, Bob says, I was born on October 17th, 1983, making me 20 days old when Will gets taken into the Upside Down, which is kind of cool. All the best from Bob. Did you ever weigh in on the TV tag thing? Was TV tag?
I never weighed in because I thought Whitney was crazy. Because it's a thing. I'm just like, I'm not even entering this discussion.
No, she was so adamant. She's like, "Is that a thing? It's like just a Southeastern Virginia thing?" I'm like, no. People up here know about it too. I'm up in Vermont now, and they also know about TV tag. So I was so hoping I was actually going to have her read that email until she wasn't coming. And I'm like, I'll just take it, but that's okay. But thank you, Bob. Appreciate you emailing in.
Thank you, Bob.
Always love to hear TV tag stories. So they make my day. Okay, so I think that wraps everything up. Thank you, everybody, to writing in. Thanks again. Obviously, we mentioned at the top that 250,000 downloads that we have had since we started this thing. It's just crazy, and it's going to get wilder and crazier the closer we get to November, and then it's going to really blow everyone's socks off once we get there. So glad you're along for the ride. We will be back on August 28th with our next episode. This time we're going to kind of turn the tables around to the other side of things and go with what we hope does not happen in Stranger Things 5. And this could be either a plot point that you don't want Hopper to die, or it can be like tropes or cliches that you hope don't get wrapped up in all of the things. So tell us what you don't want to have happen in Stranger Things Season 5. Get us your emails by Sunday, August 24th. The episode will come out on Thursday, August 28th. So what you don't want to happen in Stranger Things 5, however you interpret that. So we will look forward to your emails, and we will see you then.
Absolutely. All right. Super fun. Oh, man, we're really getting geared up. I could feel it. Yeah. All right. Remember, if you want to get in touch with the show, email scoopsahoypod@gmail.com and check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. And please remember, if you can, to leave a rating or better yet, a review on iTunes. You can also leave a rating and or comment on Spotify now, too. So if you're so inclined, I was reading them the other day. I love them.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. I don't think I've ever mentioned it. But yeah, we got quite a good, one of the comments from Spotify we just read earlier. So yeah. You can get in touch with us there, too. So absolutely.
Yeah, totally. And thanks for listening. And I hope you guys tune in next time. Bye.
Bye. Stranger Things audio clips and official score are appropriate.